What's up, YouTube? It's Dontavious Hill, three-time Team USA high jumper and five-time NCAA All-American, and currently have a personal best of 7 feet 5 inches. And today, I wanted to talk about the concept of athletes who are diving into the bar or just kind of going into the bar too early before they even take off. Okay, so I even want to draw this first, right? Kind of what it kind of looks like. So we usually have our athlete. This is our athlete right here. And this is their arms. This is their head kind of going into this already. A better way would have been to kind of put the head here. Like, and their kind of foot is still on the ground and they're trying to go ahead and go over to the bar, right? So athlete here, arms going into the bar, and they're still on the ground, right? Still on the ground, kind of going into the bar. So this is what I mean when I say an athlete who is diving. Athlete who is diving, okay? So what are the main reasons athletes tend to go to the bar early or so-called dive at the bar? The very first thing is they're used to low bars, right? So if all they've ever jumped at are bars that they're taller than or that they're used to looking over, all of those bars, that athlete will be able to always dive over and get over or put their arm over the top of it without having to go up, right? So just from the concept of habit of just having to go over low bars, these athletes have created this bad habit of just diving, right? Flat out diving. And like the question is, like, how do we change that? How do we get out of that habit of diving, right? Because if we just have bars here, like if our athlete is this tall, and if all the bars this athlete has ever jumped have been below their face, every time they go over the bar, of course they're gonna dive because they can shoot those arms wherever they want to and not even knock it down. That's all they know. All they know is low bar. I can go over, throw my head. I can do this all quickly. How can we work on that? How can we fix that? Right? Well, one way you can is by practicing looking at the higher bars or practicing kind of the different angles that you throw your arms or practicing the different angles that you attack your body. Instead of going here, try to go here. That is a concept of how you can get better or try and get your mind used to higher bars, right? It's gonna happen mentally before it happens physically, right? Number 2, arch concept. So we all know that in high jump, there is this conception that if you arch your back, you're gonna get over the bar, or if you throw your head back or something like that, you're gonna get over the bar. Completely false. High jump is strictly about getting your hips to be the highest point. Yes, there is an arch aspect of the event that some athletes use. All athletes do not even use that. I am one who also does not really use much arch at all, and I've been able to jump 7.5 strictly off being able to rise my hips, strictly off of my approach, right? It's not about the arch, it's about rotation. And since we have such this big misconception on arching and bending your back, so many people focus on that, which causes them, when they're taking off, to go ahead and throw their head and throw their whole body, because what they're trying to do is get ready to arch. You're trying to get ready to arch. That's not what it's about, but that's what people are trying to do. So of course, if you know that you have to arch your back, you're going to go ahead and try and do it as soon as you can if you think that's going to get you over the bar, right? That is another reason why we get athletes diving, right? Number 3 is understanding patience. So understand let's call it patience. Can't fit the whole word, maybe. Just a little bit. So understanding patience, right? And what that means is there's going to be a point in the high jump where an athlete has to go up. Okay? What a lot of young athletes skip is the going up part in the high jump. They go horizontal. They take off barely and they go horizontal, right? So if you want to be able to be patient, you have to mentally and physically think about technically practicing the rise up before you go over the bar. Has to happen mentally before it happens physically. We have to think about the concept of the rise before we go over. We can't go here. We have to trust that we can go up and our body will still rotate based off of the work we did in our approach. Right? I'm going to say that again. We have to trust that we'll go up and our body will still rotate based off of the work that we did in our approach. Okay? So I want to give a concept here for the first thing that we kind of mentioned here, being used to low bars. So there's this saying about if you don't know what you don't know, or like whatever you're exposed to, like that's what you are, or you are what you eat, right? So there was this concept of a flea, which can jump like really high off of the ground, like a flea or something can jump really high off of the ground. I think it's something like 10 feet or something for like this tiny animal, the flea or whatever. I think it's a ground animal that can't fly, I'm not sure, or a ground insect. But it can jump extremely high. But someone put the flea in a jar, and when that flea was in a jar, this the flea. When that flea was in a jar, it no longer had that 10 feet vertical. It had a 5-inch vertical. So this is a 5-inch vertical that this flea got. This flea doesn't even know that it has a 10-foot vertical. So the same thing can be said for our high jumpers who are used to low bars. If you're used to a low bar, so you're diving every time you're going over the bar, you don't even know that you have another 2 inches in you because you don't know how to attack that bar properly because all you know is what you're used to. I have seen so many high jumpers and I have coached so many high jumpers who are able to get 2 inches, 4 inches just off of how we figured out what's the better way we can attack this bar. Or me working on it with my athletes, showing them this is how you attack this bar. This is how you mentally lock in to get a higher point on this bar. 2 inches on it, 4 inches on it. Short periods of time. I'm talking 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. The kids jumping 3 to 4 inches higher off of a concept like this flea, right? You have to know that you have a 10 feet vertical, right? You don't need to be thinking that you have a 5-inch vertical and practicing in a way that you're going to get 5-inch results, right? So if you're a high jumper or you're the parent of a high school high jumper and you're tired of guessing and you're tired of wondering whether you really have a 5-inch vertical or do you have a 10 feet vertical, well, you came to the right place. So like I said, guys, my name is Dontavious Hill, 3-time Team USA high jumper, and I now coach high school athletes to achieve personal records, school records, state championship qualifications, and eventually college scholarships for my athletes who want to pursue collegiate opportunities, right? So if you want to be a part of that and see what that looks like, guys, please click down below and apply for a free call with me where we'll hop on, see where you are in your high jump journey, see where you want to get to, and then I'll walk you guys through what it looks like to join the High Jump Blueprint program and be a part of our coaching community, our athletes, our team, and jump some high bars. All right. So like I said, guys, go ahead and click the link down below to apply for a free call, and we'll get you guys jumping a whole lot higher and having a great high jump experience.